Hi everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be working on another Project Life spread for week 28 of 2025. So this week you can see I already have some cards into place. I dipped into my summer themed Project Life card area, and I found all of these cards inside of that category. So that's one thing that has really helped me a lot whenever I do have a more themed time of year or a themed mood or anything like that, is to have my Project Life cards categorized in some way that can help me. So I enjoyed that a lot. I have a mixture of like the summer mood and the one at the bottom that says remember this summer moment. Those are from LA Studio, and they are newer cards from LA Studio, along with that orange card at the top that I'm using here for my title card. But then I also found this July cut apart that I think is from a really old, maybe crepe paper or something like that. So I blended it together with that card. And then also I used a couple of the just easy minimal pattern papers from Doodlebug, which I did include that paper pad in my most recent haul video. And I'm also using that paper pad in my summer junk journal, which will have another one of those videos coming soon. But I just have like a big mix of things this year. Oh, I forgot that there we go. I had to replenish my adhesive there. I didn't know how long that was going to take, but it didn't take long, so we lucked out. So anyways, with this week, besides the cards, you'll notice that I don't have that many photos here, and I blew one up to extreme size. So this was one of those weeks where I did have a decently busy week. As you can see, I got to see my friend Casey. We had a great day together, but I didn't really have any photos. Literally, the only two pictures that I took for this entire week were the picture of me and Casey, the selfie, and then also of our drinks whenever we hung out. Those were the only two pictures that I had for the entire week. So I was like, what am I going to do to document this week? I'm really running low on the photos. So what I ended up doing was I did my tried and true method of blowing up one of my pictures to a really large size. It's essentially a 6x8, and I pop it into those top two 4x6 pockets there. So you're going to see I'm going to cut that photo in half and trim it down here in just a little bit. I did print it off as a 6.2 by 8.2 just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room so that it would fit nicely in the pockets. But that is a really old trick. I'm sure you've heard me say this so many times. I found that trick out from Dearly D way back in the day, years ago, and I just thought it was brilliant, a great way to utilize your photos. You know, you can make one photo kind of be the star of the spread, and it really helps on those slow weeks. So that's my first tip. If you just really do not have enough pictures to document your week of Project Life. So you can see, instead of that picture being printed off as a 3x4 and only taking up one little area of a pocket, one little pocket, it's taking up 4 pockets. So it really utilizes that space. So I decided to print off of that picture of our coffees really big instead of the selfie of me and Casey, because I knew that that picture of us would be split like right in the middle of our faces, and the coffees, it doesn't matter if I have to cut the picture in half. So I definitely have put pictures of people as my large photo, or of the dogs or something, but I always make sure that it's a picture that can be cut in half. Like it's just good before you print it off to note like where do you think it will need to be cut, so that you're not cutting like right in the middle of someone's face. So I had those two pictures, but then I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do for the rest of my week? So what I ended up doing was, another tip that I have, I went through my photo roll on my phone, and I looked through and I found this picture of Penny that I took a couple weeks ago, but I never included it in my Project Life. So that's something that is helpful to me whenever I take cute pictures of the dogs, which, you know, I feel like if you have a pet or something, whatever it is that you like to take pictures of. It doesn't have to necessarily be your pet. I have the neighborhood chickens that come to visit a lot. I take pictures of them all the time. You know, I take pictures of flowers that are outside all the time. And sometimes those pictures don't make it into my Project Life. But if it's relatively within the span of when I'm documenting, like I don't mind if that picture of Penny is from a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. It's still generally the same time of year and it works out for me. So I pulled that out of my like little back stock of photos and was able to pop that into place so that I did have a third photo. I really wanted to have a third picture that I actually took myself. Then for my other two, I went with screenshots. So another great way that you can fill in that space. So the first one was a screenshot from Instagram. It wasn't a quote necessarily, but it was kind of just a thought, that someone had put down. And it was all about friendships and, having kind of a romanticized, whimsical, fun friendship. And I felt like that really worked out for me and Casey and our day together. So I thought, okay, I'm going to print that off and I'll kind of make my own filler card using that quote. The last one down at the bottom is a screenshot from Big Brother, so a TV show that I'm currently watching. Of course, we all know getting screenshots of TV shows, movies, books, anything like that you are currently into can really set the mood for your spread, even if you don't have an actual photo that you took. So I found this picture, which was a promo picture from Big Brother 27, which is the newest season that just came out this past week. I also love it because it says where it's gonna, what channel it's on, that it's on Paramount Plus, which is where I watch it. And I think that's just a sign of the times because, of course, there didn't used to be a streaming service, years ago. So it kind of gives you that the time frame of where we are. And then also it says that the new season was starting on Thursday, July 10th. So you can tell that it's within this week. So I thought that was fun. But I'm also still watching Big Brother 20. So I wanted to acknowledge that. So I ended up using my Sophie Alpha stamp from Citrus Twist. And I wrote just the same as I did for week 28. I used the same alpha stamp to kind of bring that alpha into a different part of the spread. And I stamped BB 20 and then I put a little heart in 27 so that I could remember that I was watching two seasons at one time. So now, again, all the bones of my spread are put into place. So I'm just trying to figure out my embellishment. So I've picked a few different things. I did have that little red heart was from a enamel shape, little embellishment pack that I had. So I did put that one larger red heart at the bottom, and then I put 3 smaller hearts on that quote card. So I enjoyed that. And then originally I put one of those Tim Holtz tiny phrase stickers, but I ended up not liking it. And I went with some other tiny phrase stickers that are inside a label from Ellie Studio. So I'll pop a couple of those on. And I was going to put a third one on this picture of the coffee cups, but then I found a different embellishment that I think is from Studio Calico, and it was the perfect color orange, and it said July, so I thought, okay, why not use it? I'm trying to use up cards and embellishments like that are very specific, so I'm going to pop that into place. So before I put the sticker down, I decided to go ahead and cut my photo down so that I would make sure to not put the sticker on a part that would be cut. So you can see that I added that in. So I've put in the majority of my embellishments, and now I'm going to stamp a little bit more and add on my journaling. So as I'm putting these things into place, I will mention, me and Casey were able to meet up this week. That was kind of the highlight of my week. And we didn't get enough photos, I've got to say, but we had such a fun day, a bestie day out and about with no kids. So she has 2 beautiful daughters, and I love hanging out with both of them, but it was really fun to have a day with just the 2 of us. So we got coffee at this really cute little coffee place that she had suggested called Good Mood Cafe. And actually, I kind of talked over it, but you may have noticed that I did actually keep the little coffee sleeve that came on my iced coffee, and I did cut it down, and I was going to use a piece of that sleeve as an ephemera piece in my spread. And that's another great way if you have a slower week, if you have pieces of real life ephemera that you can include. It can take up a lot of space. I ended up not having the space for it on here, but it's just another idea. So, we had a great time. We went out to eat lunch. We walked around and just hung out, but we only ended up with those 2 lone photos. So I had to make do. So you can see down here at the bottom on this Big Brother card, I was trying to fill in some of the space. So I did do some repeat stamping with 2 different phrase stamps. So I did Note to Self, which is the smaller stamp, and then I did the detail stamp. Originally, I was just going to stamp details once, and I immediately messed it up. So I had to do the kind of ghost stamping on there, but I ended up liking it. I think it looks cute. In between the stamps, I did say Big Summer Tradition, because definitely for me, Big Brother screams summer. So it always comes on like usually sometime in July, end of June, July. And they've only had like one, I believe, winter season ever. So it's a very summertime show. And this season I have high hopes. Of course, nothing is like those older seasons, but I do have high hopes that it will be a good one. So definitely let me know if you're watching Big Brother or if you associate a certain show with summer. I would love to hear about it. Also, I've got to say, I'm sorry about the lighting here. The sun was just coming in through my windows, which are right behind my desk, and I didn't notice it until I was editing this video, and I was like, oops, I didn't have the best lighting there. So I do apologize. But okay, I got my journaling on, and I thought that was the main journaling that I was going to do, was about Big Brother. I did have my day with Casey, but I didn't have a ton that I felt like I necessarily needed to say. So at this point, I'm kind of just dilly-dallying, trying to decide if I wanted to add any other embellishments and figure out what did I want to put on that summer mood card right there. So I knew I had to add something in the middle, obviously, but it already has a large title. And then I already have like the July card that has a large title, and I stamped the week 28, the BB 20 and 27. There's just a lot of words on here. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So what I ended up going with were these other gold, I brought in a different color here, these gold smaller alpha stickers from what the collection that I'm using. Is it a Paige Evans collection? I am forgetting right now, but whatever collection, I'm sorry, that I'm using for my summer junk journal, I used those alphas, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because, again, there's a lot of different fonts and different, words on this page, but I ended up really liking it, and I just spelt out Casey and Lay, and then underneath there, I put our special Saturday because we hung out on the weekend, which we don't normally do, so I just wanted to remember that. I did feel like there was a little bit of extra space above that title, so I'm going to grab out an orange heart sticker that I found on one of those sheets, and I'm going to kind of mess with it, and I'm going to outline it just like I did with Summer Mood and get it into place, and that is going to be it for this one. So even though it's a really simple spread, I think that it kind of threw me for a loop multiple times because of the fact that I didn't have very many photos, and I just kind of struggled to figure out how I was going to fill in the space, what I was going to do, what I was going to add, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like in the end, it all turned out good. I hope that you cannot hear Penny squeaking outside my door, but she said, that's enough. Get out here with me. But anyway, friends, I hope you enjoyed this process video. If you did, please give me a like, and please also consider subscribing. And of course, I'll be back with a lot more summertime fun videos in the future. So I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.